struggle with making changes in their life primarily because they don't understand how the mind works. And this is something we've never been taught. We go through school, we go through life, and nobody gives us a clear understanding, a clear picture of how the mind works. We all have a mind, we're born with it, we live with it our entire lives. It functions all day in our waking states, in our sleeping states, but yet there's no manual for the mind. We're never given that. We're never given any education whatsoever. I travel all around the world, I speak to people all the time, and I always ask people, how many of you have had formal training on how the mind works? And most of the time, almost everyone answers no. And if anybody had some training about the mind or understanding of the mind, it has come much later on in life where they've taken the initiative to go out there and learn about the mind. 99% of the people always say no. I've had no learning or lessons of understanding how the mind works. And I always tell people it's the one thing in life that we don't have a manual for. Everything else comes with a manual, right? You buy a blender, you get a 30-page manual on how to use the blender. You buy a point-and-shoot camera, which is supposed to be a point-and-shoot. You just hold it up, you point it, and you shoot it. And even that comes with a manual. It's like a 100-page manual on how to use a point-and-shoot camera. Everything, even food, comes with a manual, right? Here's a bag of rice. You take a cup of rice, you put it in a bowl, in a pot with 2 cups of water. You boil it for a while, and then you simmer it. And there's instructions on how to cook rice. Same way with clothing. Clothing comes with instruction as well. If you look at your clothing, there's a little label at the back that tell you if you should wash it in warm or cold water, hot water, if you should dry it in low heat or high heat, you should iron it, you shouldn't iron it, you should dry it on a clothesline, flat on a table. So many things, everything comes, most things come with an instruction manual or some kind of guideline on how to use it, right? But the mind, no instruction for it. And it's one of the most complex, if not complex, things in the world. The mind created everything around us. The medium in which you're watching this online course, whether it's your laptop, your tablet, your iPhone, smartphone, was created using the mind. People are able to put little flying satellite thingies on comets now, you know, and land them on the moon and land them on Mars. All that's created using the mind. Yet there's no education, there's no formal learning and understanding on how this mind works. When I went to the monastery, one of the things my guru asked me is, do you know how the mind works? And I said, no, nobody has ever taught me that. And he said, that's where we're going to start. We're going to start by getting a clear intellectual understanding of how the mind works. And what I want to share with you today is the monk's perspective, a monk's experience of the mind. So it's not a study of books and reading hundreds and hundreds of books and doing research and lab tests and getting results back and drawing charts and correlations and all kinds of things. No, it's a monk's personal experience. It's my personal experience and understanding of how the mind works as my guru taught me, and then I experienced myself. I remember a couple of years ago, I was in Istanbul, Turkey, giving a keynote talk to a group of about 700 or 750 entrepreneurs from around the world. And it was a 5-day event, and on the last day, they had a grand finale dinner for the whole group, and we had it as this beautiful restaurant club with music right on the bay and under a bridge, and it was a wonderful setting. It was quite late at night. I think it was 1 or 2 in the morning, and there was a German entrepreneur, and he had a bottle of beer in his hand, and he looked at me, and it probably wasn't his first bottle or second either. And he looked at me and said, Dandapani, after spending 10 years in a monastery, what's the most important thing that you can share with me? If you were dying right now, he said, if you were dying right now, what's the most important thing you would share with me? And I thought, that's a really good question. And I said, without any hesitation, it would be about understanding how the mind works. To me, of all that I've learned in the monastery and everything that I've experienced in terms of the teachings, this would be one of the greatest things, if not the greatest things I can share with you, getting a clear understanding of how the mind works. Why do we need this? Because the mind is a tool to us. If we can understand how it works, we can control it. if we can control it, we can direct the mind. If we can direct the mind, we can create what we want in our lives, the type of lives that we were looking for. But it all comes down to understanding what we're working with. And most people don't understand how the mind works, and therefore can't control it, and can't direct it, and create the life that they want. And therefore they struggle. They struggle to make changes, they struggle to create the type of life they want. It's not that they don't have the ability to do so, they just don't understand the tool that they're working with, which is the mind. And this topic is really, really important, and it's so important to get a clear, solid understanding of this. I'm going to spend some time sharing with you in depth about this whole concept of understanding the mind.